I'm sorry. Listen, I didn't actually know that Emerald's story was already a thing before making that video, okay? I didn't mean to lie on the internet, it was all on accident. Also, this comment is funny, I like this. Anyway, Sonic X Shadow Generations. What started out looking like a simple remaster, basically adding another skin for Sonic and some new stages, is actually turning out to look like its own fully fledged product. I cannot wait for this game to release, and if it's good, we might have another Bowser's Fury on our hands. Okay, well, let's slow down a bit. Before we get into the remaster, let's just go over what made the original generation so great. So the year is 2011 and the last few Sonic games we got was Precom, Burn in Hell, you insidious product made by Satan himself, I actually like this one, well on an emulator at least, I can't speak for the original hardware. Sonic Colors, like I said before, I will never forget how much people switched up on this game. It's a solid and fun experience overall, just lacking a bit in substance. So yeah, this was a pretty dark era for Sonic. See what I did there? Because it was the dark era, except for Sonic Colors. All the games released in this era were either too inconsistent, hurting the overall experience, or some of the games were just flat out bad. Sonic's next release had quite big shoes to fill, and it had to be more than just a good game. It had to appeal to all the fans of the franchise and remind you how good the franchise can be. Enter 2011, the 20th anniversary of Sonic. This was the legendary year that Sonic Generations released, a game made to celebrate the history of the franchise by bringing classic Sonic back and bringing old stages back, a nostalgia pandering gimmick that won't ruin the quality of future games and how people see the franchise from now on, I promise. It was all good in this game though, it actually made sense to have these old locations back and they were all well designed. We got 9 stages in this game: Green Hill, Chemical Plant, Sky Sanctuary, Speed Highway, City Escape, Seaside Hill, Crisis City, Rooftop Run and Planet Wisp. This was quite a good variety of stages. Minus the 4 cities. There really were 4 city levels in this game, oh my. None of these are bad mind you, and these stages are the most iconic from their respective games. It just feels crazy when you realize it. All the stages in this game are really good, they all blend 2D platforming and 3D in a fast paced and creative way. There's only like one stage where the quality drops off and it's a very small drop, Planet Wisp. I still think this stage is a lot of fun and really good, it's just not what I'm going to pick first when I revisit this game. It has an overabundance of 2D modern Sonic platforming, which is fine for me when it's done right in games like Sonic Dimensions. Please play Sonic Dimensions. Planet Wisp is just the slowest out of all the modern stages, so it borders being the least fun. So there's 2 Sonics in this game. Classic Sonic has entirely 2D gameplay trying to emulate the classic Sonic games. Classic Sonic is a shadow of his Genesis self in this game though. He doesn't have that much momentum, he doesn't feel as fluid as his Genesis counterpart. He's still fun though, especially due to his rocket spin dash. This shit allows you to fly at light speed across these stages. Modern Sonic is the best he's ever been in this game though, oh my. Well, it's kind of debatable, but I think this is his best rendition. See, in Unleashed he may have felt faster and looked cooler while he's blasting through these stages with crazy glitches like QSS for example, but Generations just offers a more fine-tuned and refined experience overall. The controls in this game are really good. Gone is the useless double jump from Colors replaced with a short but effective air dash. Homing attack is now on A instead of X, which is way better. Drifting and quick stepping is more refined and responsive. Yes, while Sonic does lose that blistering fast effect it seems like he had in Unleashed, he does control way better in this game. Sonic does feel quite slippery in Unleashed, which is noticeable if you play another game then go back to Unleashed. Then again, Unleashed feeling slippery could be due to its bad performance. Sonic Generations performs really well, I've never really had any issues. The game graphically is beautiful with these really nice and vibrant environments all running at smooth 60 FPS the whole time. The soundtrack is also amazing with great remixes of previous tracks and entirely new arrangements. As for the story in this game, there is none, give up. All we really get is a premise and an end goal. Since this game's main focus is gameplay, the story is sidelined a lot, which could be a problem for some. Speaking of problems, this game does have a few, nothing crazy but yeah. First, the final boss, very lackluster compared to other bosses in the game.
Looks like a homing shot! Looks like a homing shot! Be careful, Sonic! Be careful, Sonic! Look out, Sonic! Looks like a working arm attack.
Super Sonic is kind of lackluster too. You have to use an entire skill slot to use him and he just flies over the entire stage, which looks cool but stops being fun after like 10 seconds. This game is also really easy and short and kind of flies over your head and doesn't leave an impression on you other than its really good gameplay. But overall this game is really good and consistent, a fun experience that everyone should try and play at least once. 9.5 out of 10. So that all being said, why remaster a game like this? Well, first, it is 2 generations old, which is crazy to think about. We are all getting old, man. The game being old does lead it to have some optimization issues. Like on PC, for example, we still have an external launch window which doesn't allow much customization and feels dated by today's standards. On the newest gen consoles, I don't think this game is even available to play, which isn't that deep now since we're getting the remaster, but yeah. Now, as happy as I am for this remaster, Sega, please Please don't mess up the PC release of OG Sonic Generations. To this day, I'm still playing this version because of the crazy amount of mod support, so I'm praying they don't f this up like they did with the classic games and Origins. Alright, well, enough talking about OG Generations, let's talk about what we know about the new remaster and what to expect. Now the elephant in the room, Shadow. He's back and here with his own moveset, story and stages. So from what we've seen, several settings are returning from Shadow's past, like the Ark, Westopolis, and Kingdom Valley. I love seeing these stages return and they feel more dynamic than the normal generation stages. Like, it's actually insane. We have full-on cutscenes in the middle of stages, character interactions. It's gonna feel so cool to play. Now, one thing I am practically begging for is some difficulty. Please have at least one stage Eggman Land level difficult. I have been yearning for the day we get to see a modern Sonic game have another longer, difficult and original level since, well, Unleashed really. Like, imagine having a really difficult stage where we're playing as Shadow and having the mid-level cutscenes playing, oh my god. Now for the story, well, we don't really know fully. It feels like Shadow's gonna have to confront his past in this game. So my guess is he's like Knuckles in Sonic Mania, chilling one day and then randomly sucked into the plot of this game. Many characters and foes are back from what we've seen, like Black Doom, the Bio Lizard, Maria, Gerald Robotnik and Emerald, the GOAT. One thing I hope for in the story that it has some type of depth and more effort put into it than the original generation story. I mean, it's looking that way so far with the whole animated trailer and all of that. Now for the gameplay, it's looking so clean so far. Shadow has his own moveset along with the typical modern Sonic stuff. He can run on walls as shown here. It seems like he has a special type of homing attack that launches enemies. He has chaos control which can slow down objects around him, leading to some cool ass smashing sections. It also seems like he has a bit of Frontiers combat in the Bio Lizard boss. This might not be combat, it might just be a fancy animation for one move, I don't know. Another Frontiers-esque thing they're doing is the open zone styled hub world. On the one hand, this could be really fun if they add actual things to interact with here and actual challenges to overcome. But if they don't do that, it could feel really sluggish and pace breaking compared to the rest of the game. Now there are a lot of problems though. I don't know why I'm saying a lot, there's like 2 problems, what am I on about? I know the game isn't finished but the UI is looking a bit off in some places. Not a massive deal, it's just a little nitpick. Second is the music. If the trailer song is similar to the songs we get in game, then like, it's not bad, it's just not as good as the usual Sonic style. It sounds a little too dubsteppy, if that makes sense. That really hurt to say. Like, remember the modern rendition of Radical Highway for Generations 3DS and how many people hated it? Like, once again, it's really not that bad, it's just not as good as normal Sonic music, if that makes sense. Another thing I'd love to see in this game is more characters. We've seen the secret 4th slot thing, which could be Silver, but it's most likely Emerald. Both are cool options though. Seeing how Emerald would play with his whole copying characters' ability stuff in modern Sonic styled gameplay would be really cool. Another thing I want to see is like a tag team boss. You know how cool that would be? Like, imagine if Sonic and Shadow both team up to fight a boss, SA2 style, like, ooh. But yeah, that's basically all my thoughts on the Shadow segment of this remaster. My prediction is if they keep going down the track they're going and polish up some gameplay, this game will be at least an 8 out of 10 minimum. Now for the normal generation stuff, it looks untouched for the most part, which is good. That is really good. Like, as I said before, Generations base gameplay is really good, so I really hope that they don't mess it up with new physics or something. One thing they are adding though is character customization, which is really cool. I just hope that they don't lock that many costumes behind a paywall or anything like that. Just hopefully you unlock it through gameplay, making the game more replayable. Gameplay wise, a few quality of life changes would be nice. Like being able to equip Super Sonic as a skill for free instead of taking up a whole slot would be cool. An option to turn off the ability that allows you to fly over the entire stage of Super Sonic would be appreciated. And yeah, that's basically it, my entire thoughts on Sonic at Shadow Generations. If they don't fumble the bag, we could have a top 2 Sonic game right here. If the entire package is good, we could have what, like a 9 out of 10 minimum? That's how good this game could be. Also, when we're getting the Forces remaster, man, Seg, you know we want that, bro.